Hey everyone, Mah-Dry-Bread here. Pokemon Fire Red with only one Torkoal was a fun and strange solo run. Let's follow that up with something totally new. Today's the day that we figure out, would I be able to beat Pokemon Gold with a team of only one Shellder? So believe it or not, but I've actually never done a solo Shellder run. It's a solo water-type Pokemon with super high defense and decent attack, but it's pretty weak at everything else. For a first form to have 100 in any stat is pretty cool though. It's a shame that all water moves in this game are special, but that's not the end of the world. I do worry about grass and electric moves though. Our special defense and health are both terrible. By level up we get Aurora Beam at level 17, but other than that, our only good attacking move is Ice Beam at level 49. We don't even learn an attacking water move until level 41, and it's not even a good one. Ice Beam will be great, but other than that, our level up moves are awful. By TM, really all I care about is Surf. Maybe I go Ice Beam, Surf, Return, and Rest by the end? I don't think I've ever had so few good moves on a Pokemon that I'm resorting to Rest, not because I think it would save me, but just because there's literally nothing else that I want. This is probably going to be a pretty weird run. Like always, I'm writing the script as I go through the challenge, so all this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if I can win or not. I figure that I can beat Lance since I have Ice Beam, but I'm skeptical about if I can beat Red at the end of the game. We're incredibly weak to electric moves, and we're not that fast, so Pikachu might ruin us. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use Shellder. I'll need other Pokemon to use HMs, but I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battle. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only Pokeballs, held items, and items outside of combat are allowed. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let's do this. So, right off the bat, I use the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Totodile with Shellder so that we can do the whole run with it. I picked to replace Totodile so that our rival would have Meganium, probably the hardest for us to fight. I name him Shelton B, with the double L like in Shell. The real ones know. Alright, so I'm not sure how the first gym is gonna go. We do have really high defense, so I don't think that they're gonna hurt us much, but they've got Mud Slap, so they might just ruin our accuracy and beat us that way. We could level up to 17 to get Aurora Beam and just beat them with an ice move, but I doubt that I'll get there at level 17 naturally, so I'd like to see if I can win before that. Normally I would get levels in Bellsprout Tower, but since it's full of grass types and we're both water type and have low special defense, that seems like a bad move. Let's see what happens when we get to the Flying Gym. Wow, so the Flying Gym actually wasn't that bad. We buffed our defense once at the start, and they just hardly hurt us. I thought Mud Slap would be an issue, but they never used it. I even held a berry to stay healthy, but we absolutely didn't need it. What an easy fight. Alright, so we have the rival fight and the bug gym next, but I'm not too worried this time. Normally Scyther can be a real issue with Fury Cutter, but he's part flying, so Aurora Beam should do a pretty great job. And the rest of Bugsy's team are a Metapod and a Kakuna, so they should be easy. I've just gotta grind up a few levels to actually get Aurora Beam, then I should be fine. Our rival could be harder because of Bayleaf. Yeah, we can use Aurora Beam on it, but I'm feeling like we can't one-shot it, but it might be able to one-shot us. Wish me luck. Alright, well, as expected, Aurora Beam made pretty short work of Bugsy's team. We weren't exactly hitting as hard as I wanted against Scyther, but we're physically tanky, so he couldn't do much to us in return. I kinda think that this rival fight might be hard, though. Alright, so I had to retry a bunch at the start against Ghastly because we were getting put to sleep or paralyzed left and right. Eventually, I just put up with him using Hypnosis since he couldn't hurt us that much in our sleep, but being slower than him does make this a long fight. We really don't do a ton of damage, but we just hardly get our two-shot in. Next is Bayleaf though, and even with it being weak to ice, we just get poison powdered and then taken out in one Razor Leaf. Okay, we for sure need to level up. I at least need Bayleaf to be a two-shot. If we could get faster than it too, then we could actually win this. So I grind for 2 levels and try again. This time we're faster than Ghastly, so it's a little bit less luck-based, and we can actually survive a Razor Leaf from Bayleaf, but it's not quite a two-shot, so we ended up fainting. Grinding here is really slow, but I'm confident that in 2 or more levels we could win this. I'm gonna go grind a little bit more, then keep trying. Alright, so 2 levels later, and we're now faster than his whole team, and do enough damage for our two-shot. Bayleaf didn't even try for Razor Leaf this time, just used Reflect instead. Fun fact, while grinding for this fight, I saw a shiny Spearow. I was just mashing through though, and accidentally made it faint before I thought to record it, but I think that's the second shiny I've seen in 2025. Obviously not counting Lake of Rage. So next is the normal gym and the ghost gym. I'm not feeling great about the normal gym, I have to say. We're tanky, so hopefully the stomps and rollout won't be too bad, but I just don't know that I'll be doing much damage, so Milk Drink might just keep us from winning. If we can win though, then I'm not at all worried about the ghost gym. We can just grab the HM for Surf outside of the gym, so I'm finally gonna have a strong move with the same type attack bonus. I guess it could still be hard if we get put to sleep or hit with Curse, but for the most part, I think that it'll actually be pretty easy. Anyway, I'm gonna go get the TM for Swift so I have a better physical move I can use if I need to. Alright, so the Clefairy at the normal gym was super easy. It just metronomed Synthesis, then did a weak double slap. Nothing serious. Next is Miltank, and we weren't doing much damage, but we were starting off incredibly lucky. Miltank kept missing rollout early on, so it couldn't build much power. It ended up using Milk Drink because of that, and it could out-heal us, but eventually it did another rollout, and we took it out during that. I think I easily could have lost this if rollout just hit more in a row, but that went great. I'm gonna go grab Surf and then try the Ghost Gym. So I tried the Ghost Gym over and over. This is how most fights go. The first Haunter tends to use Curse, so we take it out fast, but we'll still take a lot of damage at the end of turns. In Gen 2 though, we don't take Curse damage on the same turn that we make something faint. The problem is that Gengar right after always puts us to sleep, so we faint to the Curse pretty quickly. I'm gonna keep trying this one though. I know that this could be a win as soon as Hypnosis fails. 5 tries later, and we have this one where Haunter doesn't use Curse, and we still actually one-shot it, meaning we're healthier going into the Gengar fight. It doesn't put us to sleep this time either, so it goes down pretty fast. But we still nearly fainted to the Haunter at the end because of all of the Nightshades they've been using. It was a really close call, but I'm impressed that we won. Alright, with that done, we have a few gyms coming up that I think will be really hard. There's the Fighting Gym that might not be too bad, but I don't expect to be doing too much damage. The Steel Gym where the Magnemites can probably wreck us. And the Ice Gym that normally isn't too hard, but where I really doubt I can do much damage either. I'm not really sure what I should do beyond fighting every single trainer I can for levels as early as possible. It's not like we can learn any good new moves to help. I guess I'll do the Fighting Gym first just because it might be the easiest. I don't see myself being able to beat the Steel Gym until after we're faster than the Magnemites, though. So I tried the Fighting Gym a few times. Primeape always goes pretty easy, but as expected, Poliwrath is a problem. Every time we just don't do much damage, get put to sleep, then take Dynamic Punches until we go down. The worst part is that confuses us too, so often we wake up and hit ourselves. I think that I should just try the other gyms first, although I really doubt that we're gonna do all that well against the Magnemites in the Steel Gym. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. We nearly one-shot the Magnemites, but of course it one-shots us with Thunderbolt. At least that means that I probably only need a few levels before I can at least get to Steelix, and I don't think that Steelix itself is going to be too bad. So right away I start going to the eastern routes to fight trainers that I haven't seen yet. You know, the path to the Lake of Rage and the Rocket Hideout. I figure that maybe by level 38 or 39 we can beat the Steel Gym, and maybe by 40 or 41 I can beat the Fighting Gym, assuming we don't get awful Hypnosis and Dynamic Punch luck, of course. I figured that I should try the Ice Gym first though, just because it'll be in town when I finish the Rocket Hideout. I still don't know how that one is gonna go, but I figure that by the time that we're ready to beat the Fighting Gym, we'll for sure be ready for the Ice Gym too. Oh yeah, as a reminder, because I keep seeing people ask why these challenges sometimes have comments on them that are like a week old by the time they go public, people who pledge on my Patreon see these videos the moment I'm done editing them, so usually about a week early. All you have to do is go to my Patreon, link to the description, and pledge at least $1 a month, and you'll get all of these challenges as early as possible, as well as the ability to vote on polls to decide what challenge I'm gonna do once a month. It's always appreciated. Thanks. Alright, so the Ice Gym ended up being pretty easy. Swift still really isn't hitting hard, but they didn't do much to me either, and Piloswine is part ground type, so Surf does a good job. After that, I went straight to the Steel Gym, and it's just a one-shot sweep. We had a super easy time. Think we're finally ready for the Fighting Gym then? So Primeape is a one-shot now, but Poliwrath is still kind of an issue. We got really lucky and crit the first Swift for huge damage, but quickly we got confused, started hitting ourselves, and we were put to sleep. I was worried that I was gonna faint before I could wake up, or even wake up then hit ourselves, but we lucked out and landed another hit to make him faint. That was closer than I was expecting, to be honest. I guess that we just have to fight our rival in the Dragon Gym next. Wow, the rival fight ended up being really easy. Actually, of all the Pokemon in his team that could hurt me, I thought it was gonna be Meganium, and that it could one-shot us with Razor Leaf, but instead it was the Sneasel at the end who did a bit of damage. Not at all what I was expecting. Hey, I'll take an easy win though. I'm gonna pick up the TM for rest on my way through Icy Path, and then go right to the Dragon Gym. I figure it won't be hard, but that I might need to level up to get Ice Beam first. We'll see. Alright, so I was kind of holding out hope that the Dragon Gym would be easy with Ice Beam, but although the Dragonairs were all one-shots, Kingdra was a problem. None of our moves do much damage to her, and Dragon Breath was doing quite a bit to us. Maybe if we were faster, then we'd actually stand a chance, but we were doing so little damage that I'm not sure it would have saved us. I think I actually have to grind, but hey, at least the local area has rock and ground types, so grinding a water type here isn't too horrible. I bet I can win this by level 55 at least. So after getting to level 53 and finally being faster than Kingdra, I lost the fight 5 times in a row due to either being paralyzed right away or being crit. Thankfully, on this 6th try, she just totally stopped using Dragon Breath and wasted time with Smokescreen instead, so I spammed Swift. She used a Hyper Potion, but we won anyway, and only took 1 hit in the process. Not bad! Now let's see how that last rival fight goes. Alright, so right away he starts with Sneasel, who outspeeds us and drops our defense 2 stages with Screech before we get our one-shot, and second is Magneton, who thankfully is a one-shot with Surf. After that is Meganium though, and we came just shy of a one-shot, so we had to take big damage from Razor Leaf. I don't know if it's a good thing that that move was special in this game. Maybe we would have fainted because of Screech, but then again our defense is so much higher than our special defense that who knows. We finish him off and then one-shot Golbat with Ice Beam right after. Second from last is Haunter, who's a one-shot with Surf, and last is Kadabra, who's a one-shot with Swift. That was pretty easy, but things are about to get a lot more difficult. Now that we're the Elite Four, let's take a look at our stats. Well, our defense rocks, and our attack is actually way higher than I thought it would be. I'm also happy that we're such a low level, all things considered, although I still don't think we can win this yet. Will's gonna be difficult because of our bad special defense, and Karen might be difficult too just because her team is reasonably strong. I'm actually not that worried about Lance though, just because we have Ice Beam and Surf, and that covers his entire team, other than Water Onix, who we can hopefully just brute force. I have a Quick Claw to help us out a little bit, but really, I think that will need to be a higher level before we can win. Make your final guess on if we can win this or not. Let's do this. First is Psychic Trainer Will. Right away, Xatu is faster than us, so we lose half of our health before we score one shot with Ice Beam. And second is Executor, who thankfully is slower than us, and also a one-shot. The problem is, Jinx is third, and although her double slap did almost nothing to us, she wasn't a one-shot, so she just used Psychic after to take us out easily. Okay, well, we need to at least be faster than the Xatu at the start if we want to stand a chance in this fight, so I'm gonna level up a little bit more. Oh wow. So a few levels later, and we were fast enough to not get hit by Xatu, and although we can take out Jinx, it's only with a few points of health left, so Slowbro just takes us out on the follow-up. We hardly did anything to Slowbro. We might need some pretty serious levels before we can win this. Hey, we're not super far off of a one-shot on Jinx. Maybe once we can do that, we can win. Okay, so I get to level 62, and Jinx is finally both slower than us and a one-shot. Slowbro is actually still pretty dangerous, and we took a lot of damage, but a lucky crit saved us from having to get hit again. Last is Xatu, but of course we just outsped and one-shotted again. I'm not sure if I could have won that without a crit or not. It's hard to say. Second is Poison Trainer Koga. Now, I wasn't too worried about this one until we got hit by Toxic early on, and Fortress was actually being smart and using Protect. Toxic isn't too dangerous in Gen 2 because we don't take poison damage on turns where we make something faint, but it's still pretty much a death sentence in solo runs. I figured this attempt was doomed until I remembered I have Rest and Muck probably can't hurt us, so I used it and things turned out fine. We won with about half of our health left in a pretty easy first try. I figure the next fight should be easy too. Third is Fighting Trainer Bruno. None of them could hit us very hard, and Surf and Swift did a good job. We did have a bit of a close call with Machamp, but we could have used Rest if we really needed to, and I figured that things would be okay. 4th is Dark Trainer Karen. So I knew things would be hard when it starts with Umbreon Sand attacking us, but thankfully, the second one failed, so we only got hit by it once before we took her out. Vileplume was a one-shot with Ice Beam, and next is Gengar, who instantly outspeeds us and uses Curse. We finish her off with Surf, so we don't get hurt, but this isn't good. Murkrow is next, but we get our first miss, so we take Curse damage and get hit by Feint Attack. We take her out on the next turn. Last is Houndoom, but we missed Surf yet again to take more Curse damage and faint in one crunch. Okay, that was awful, but I do think I can win this in a few tries if I just get better accuracy luck. Okay, this took a bunch of tries, but eventually we got this one where Gengar didn't use Curse, instead just wasting time with Lick. I still lost on another try where Curse didn't happen thanks to horrible missing luck against Murkrow, but on this one, we just hit lots and won pretty easily. Finally, Pokemon Champion Lance. Right away, Water Onix took a critical Ice Beam, hit a Hyper Beam, then we took him out easily as he was recovering. Considering he was using Swift though, I'm sure that I didn't need that crit. After that is 3 Dragonites in a row, but all 3 are obviously just one-shots with Ice Beam. Charizard was faster than us and hit a Flamethrower for a pretty decent chunk of damage before we one-shot him. And last is Aerodactyl, who hits pretty hard with Hyper Beam before we one-shot with Surf. Not bad at all. With that victory, we get in the Hall of Fame and we win the run, but you know it's not over yet. Gen 2 has all of Kanto in the postgame, including 8 gym battles and a secret final boss fight with Red. 7 of those 8 gym battles are super easy since they're weaker than the Elite Four, so we're gonna skip ahead to the next real challenge, Blue. I know for sure I'm picking up the leftovers on my way over there because I figure that it'll be pretty useful with a physically tanky Pokemon like Shellder. So we get to Blue at level 70. Pidgeot is nearly a one-shot, but all it gets us with is a weak wing attack and mirror move, so we take it down pretty fast. Second is Exeggutor, and it's not a one-shot either, but all it did was charge Solar Beam, so it never hit us. The problem is Alakazam, who's faster than us and hits really hard with Psychic. We're not very close to a one-shot, so we just ended up going down. Well, if we could one-shot Pidgeot, then maybe we could get farther, but I really think that we might need to be faster than Alakazam. Let's get up to level 75 and then keep trying. Alright, so another try at level 75. Pidgeot is a one-shot now, and after that is Exeggutor, who still just uses Solar Beam, so we're going into the Alakazam fight with full health. Now this time we survive, but it's just because he used Reflect instead of Psychic. We still get hit on the second round to lose half of our health, but we take him out on the follow-up. Next is Water Onix, and this fight went on forever. He doesn't do much to us, so I kept wanting to use Rest, but then he kept critting us so I'd have to rest extra. He even used 2 full restores to last longer and longer. The funny thing is, he started running out of Hyper Beams and even Hydro Pumps, so by the end he was using Twister, and it was so weak that our leftovers were keeping us almost perfectly healthy. It took nearly 4 entire minutes just to fight Water Onix, but eventually he went down, and we were very healthy. Second from last is Arcanine, who hit a Flamethrower, then got one-shot, and last is Rhydon, who was obviously just a one-shot. Not bad at all. I thought that I'd have to be a higher level. Let's go lose to Red. Alright, time for Red. Right away, Thunder misses us, and we nearly get a one-shot with Surf. Pikachu uses 2 full restores as we keep surfing, and then he finally hits us to make us faint. I mean, how crazy would it have been if we actually took out Pikachu there? Let's start the real tries at level 80. I still think there's a chance we don't win at level 100, but hey, who knows? Okay, so after getting one shot again, we got this try where Pikachu missed, so we one-shot him instead. Problem is, Venusaur's next, and although he's going for Solar Beam, he's faster, so he still hits us on the second round for a one-shot. I think I'm gonna need to be faster than him to win this one. Level 85, and we still need Thunder to miss to get to Venusaur. Now, Venusaur is actually in 2-shot range, but we're still slower, so we just go down again. Maybe a Quick Claw could help us, but I really think that we're going to need the leftovers if we're going to beat Snorlax later in the fight. I just need to level up more. Level 90, and after getting hit by Thunder 5 times, we got another run where we got to Venusaur, but we still just lost again. Starting to really worry that even at level 100, we're going to be too slow. Alright. We're level 95 and Venusaur is finally slower than us, so we take him out easily before he can hit us. Finally, some progress. Espeon is next, and it's faster than us and uses Reflect, but thankfully we were going for Surf. It hit us with Psychic for pretty huge damage, but we took it out. After that is Snorlax though, so I was worried. I went for Surf since Reflect is still up, and he ended up using Amnesia after the hit. I switched to Ice Beam hoping for a freeze, and we got it on the first try. Then I switched between Surf and Swift, trying to lower his health without dropping him into red to avoid a full restore, but we ended up critting just to take him out early. That was nice, but it meant that we had less health than I wanted for Blastoise. He was doing more damage than I had hoped with Surf, as I whittled him down to low health. Right as I was about to take him out, I used Rest. I could have just finished him off, but I know Charizard is last, and he's for sure going to be faster than me, so I don't want to go down to something like Slash. I rested to heal back up, lost a little over half of our health, then finished him off. Last is Charizard, and he outsped us with Flamethrower, but one Surf took him out. Not only did we win, we did it below level 100. For my first Shellder run, that wasn't too bad. I should probably see if I could get a better moveset in a different game so that I can try it in that one, because it is crazy how limited we were in that. I really hope you guys like that run. The next Pokemon Challenge should be up next week on Saturday, like usual, with Pokemon Heart Gold, with only one Sneasel. As always, I'm looking forward to your suggestions in the comments, in the challenge request section of my Discord channel, and on Twitter. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. Outro time. Okay, I'm recording this on the 6th of June, this voiceover right now. There is a chance that next week's challenge might be late. I don't really know for sure. So here's the thing. I know a lot of you who listen to these outros or follow me on Twitter or whatever know about my health issues I've been having for like over a year now. A little bit over a year from when I was passing out last year, right? And the weird abdominal pains and everything, kind of like lower abdomen down by like the waistline of my pants, I guess. Well, I'm going through my whole medical journey and everything to try and figure that out. I finally saw a GI, which is what all the doctors at the hospital recommended. Took forever to get my appointment, but I got my consultation and everything. The big important thing is on the 11th, which is after this video is going to air on YouTube, but it'll be up on Patreon before that. On the 11th of June, I have my colonoscopy. Now, I don't really know if I'm going to have answers as to what's going on, if anything's going on that's going to get seen by a colonoscopy immediately after, or if I have like a consultation with the GI later down the road, and that's when we talk about this stuff. I have no idea. I've never done this before. That wasn't really part of the prep. Most of our prep discussion with the GI was just talking about, you know, the whole process, what the prep looks like, sending me the info so that I can get all of the laxatives and whatever to prep for the colonoscopy. I know, fun way to end the video, right? Colonoscopy talk. I'm looking forward to it so much. But honestly, I am hoping that they find something so that we at least know, like, hey, finally some answers as to this health stuff, and maybe that can lead us to an answer. Obviously, I'm not sitting here going, man, I hope I have something really bad. No, like, obviously I hope that it's something that is pretty treatable. I figure it's probably nothing, like, life-threatening, because if it was really, really serious, then how long ago did I pass out now? Like a year and 1 month or something? And yeah, I've had pains and I've had pressure since then, and I've had a few times where my blood pressure got really low. There have been some incidents like that since then, but not as severe. And I feel like if it was something really bad, it probably would have gotten noticeably worse over the course of the last year. And it hasn't gotten noticeably worse. It comes and goes, it can be really rough sometimes, and then other times, I don't notice it for like a straight month. So we really don't know what's up yet. Hopefully when I get scoped, they're gonna find something, but the GI already warned me that there's a chance that they'll scope me, they won't see anything wrong, but everything still isn't performing properly. In that case, I guess there's other things we do. I don't know. I'm not a GI. I can't exactly relay you the information that he told me perfectly, because we're talking about maybe 7 minutes that I was talking to him over a month ago, like a month and a half ago or something, so I don't remember all his verbiage and everything. But he explained to me that, you know, there's two different kinds of problems with intestines. There's the physical problem you can physically see on a camera, and you can look at that and diagnose that and say, that's the problem you're having, you know, inflammation or a tumor or whatever it is. But he said that you can also look at it, and there's a chance that there's nothing physically wrong with the organ itself, but it's still not performing the way it should. in which case it's some kind of nerve issue or something. I don't remember exactly how he worded it, but he did explain to me that just because the organ itself seems to be, like, healthy doesn't mean that it's going to function properly, because obviously your organs work in tandem with other organs. It might not be getting the right signals or whatever. Or who knows, maybe it's not even an intestine problem. We don't know yet. We won't know until I get scoped. Then there might be some answers. So I'm looking forward to that. I know it sounds weird to say you're looking forward to a colonoscopy, but I really, really want some answers on this. But basically what I'm saying is next week's challenge, from when you're seeing this, might be late, because, like, yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, the colonoscopy has already happened a few days ago. You can probably just, like, go on my Twitter right now, linked in the description, and I will have given you any updates if I have any updates there, and of course I'll give you updates in the next Pokemon Challenge voiceover thing, because I'm pretty sure that next voiceover is going to be after the colonoscopy. But yeah, there's a chance that it might just be late, because I have a dentist appointment on the Monday, which is the 9th. I have a dentist appointment, so already I'm not going to be working as much as I would like to that day. And then the Tuesday, I'm on a pure liquid diet for like 30 hours or something. It's like 9 in the morning, I have to start a pure liquid diet, and then the next day, my colonoscopy isn't until 2 p.m. It's like a 1:15 check-in time, and then 2 p.m. is the time I'm supposed to actually have the colonoscopy. So I'm not going to have anything but water for like a really long time. And on that Tuesday where I'm only having water, I also need to do all the colonoscopy prep, which is like a lot of laxatives and stuff like that. Basically, I'm working on the assumption that I'm not going to be able to work on the Tuesday, or at least my work is going to be very limited, because that day is pretty much dedicated to prepping for the operation. And then Wednesday is the actual day of the colonoscopy. I'm just assuming I'm probably not working at all that day, because the first half of the day before I go in for the colonoscopy, I'm going to be absolutely starving and probably very low on energy and not ready to, work. And then after the colonoscopy, I mean, they knock you out for that. You're not awake for a colonoscopy. I'm probably going to be pretty woozy and waking up from anesthetics and stuff for, I don't know, the rest of the day. It's probably going to be affecting me for the bulk of the rest of the day. So I think it's pretty safe to assume I'm not going to be working the day of the colonoscopy. I'm assuming that I'm probably going to need Thursday as a bit of a recovery day. I do think I'm going to work that day, but probably not like as well as I would. I'm going to need to like get food back in me, and who knows like what my health is by then, because for all I know, by then they're going to have seen something during the colonoscopy, and I will have learned about it, and who knows, maybe by Thursday I'm going to be like on a bout of medication for something. I don't know. Maybe I have inflammation in my intestines and I need to take something for it, or maybe I need to radically change my diet and like cut certain foods out that I have some kind of allergy to, or something like that. I really don't know. So all of next week for me is very, very up in the air. But like the way I look at it, if I have limited work on Monday, limited work on Tuesday, I can't work Wednesday, and then the rest of the week is a mystery, but Thursday is probably at least limited work, yeah, I might not get the video done on time. And I know, I always get a wave of people who are like, don't worry if it's late, it's okay, we don't mind, we can wait, it's not a big deal. Yeah, but I also have to do my job, like think about it for yourself, right? You have a job. If you suddenly stood up one day and said, oh man, look, next week I need to take this day off, and this day off, and this day off, and this day off. Yeah, you're not getting paid. That's the problem. Bills still gotta get paid. And I'm the only one working. So, if the videos are gonna get done, it's gonna get done by me. No one else can take that over. That's literally impossible with the way my workflow is, and it's all the stuff is on my computer, and I'm the one playing the challenges, and I'm the one writing the script, and I'm the one doing the editing, and I'm the one doing the voiceover and all of that. And then whenever people hear that, they're like, why don't you pay for an editor? I don't know, man. Two things. One, the editing is like the easiest part of it, by far. The editing takes me like no time. The only thing I could outsource that would save me time is the playing of the game, and I'm not going to outsource that. 2, the editing is where I put in a lot of my personality and what makes my show feel unique. Outsourcing that to an editor is just gonna make it feel less like my show. I don't want to do that. Yeah, they can make things cleaner and nicer, but people show up for texture, not polish. I don't want them to clean it up. I like the little mistakes. I like the little eccentricities of my weird editing, and I think that a lot of you guys do too. And 3, if I'm worried about having to work because I gotta get paid, how am I gonna pay for an editor? Sorry, thought I'd address that because I always get asked these things. Anytime I say a video is gonna be late, I already know the litany of questions I get or the litany of responses I get because this has happened many times, you know? Anyway, it might be late. And if it is, that's a bummer, but, you know, I'll survive. Well, I'll find a way. Hopefully it won't be late. I'm very sorry if it is. I'm probably gonna try and schedule a very easy run for me to play next week. So, like, you're already gonna see Heart Gold with 1 Sneasel, because I'm playing that this week. That's how that works. Is I'm doing the voiceover for a run that I had already played the week before, while I'm playing the next run, and it's very complicated, and I've talked about this a million times. But basically, the run after the Sneasel run is the one that could be late. I'm gonna try and pick a run that looks very easy on paper for that week, but that people still request. Because then hopefully it's a run that I could just beat in like a couple days near the end of the week, and then things won't necessarily be late. But again, it's all dependent on my health. I don't know. I don't have any answers until the colonoscopy. So, wish I could give you better answers? I cannot. But now I need to get some water in me. I need to go make myself some breakfast at 5 p.m. I need to make myself some breakfast, because I'm basically nocturnal right now, and I wake up very late. And then I gotta get editing this, and I gotta get playing more of that Sneasel run for you, so that stuff isn't late. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.